Hello, this is Justin from Honors WP, and today I just want to walk you through our transfer plugin and how you can use it to migrate your LearnDash courses, content, and users from one LearnDash site to another LearnDash site. I also want to show you our new dashboard interface that was introduced in Transfer 1.6. So to get started, we're just going to go to our export site. Before we get started with anything with transfer, let's just be sure our server parameters are what our team recommends to prevent any timeout or server issues. So to do that, we're going to go to LearnDash settings and click on this support tab right here. Then we're going to scroll down to server settings. So we want to be sure right here that each of these values is at least what our team recommends as outlined in the transfer documentation, the export overview, which I will show right here. If you scroll down just a little bit right here at the top, we can see that we list our recommended server parameters right here. So let's look these over. Then we'll navigate back to our export site. All right, they seem to be at our minimum recommendations, but if you have more LearnDash content, the more content you have, the larger you'll want these settings to be to prevent any timeout or any server issues from occurring. So to get started with the export, we're going to go to transfer. This will bring up the overview menu. Then we'll click on export. This will bring up a few options. So these two options are if you want to migrate or export everything LearnDash. So courses, content, everything really LearnDash you want to export. That's what these options are for. But say you want to export only specific LearnDash courses and content. In this case, we're going to do that. So we're going to go to the Customize Export option right here. Click on that. Click on LearnDash for LMS found. We want to uncheck the Export Everything box. Then export specific LearnDash courses. We're going to click on the course box. Go down to here. Click Select Courses to Export. Search box here. We can just type in a letter and that'll bring up the menu. Say I want to export, see, basic programming concepts, HTML for beginners, programming language for beginners, Python programming, and advanced programming concepts. So these 5 courses I would like to migrate to a new LearnDash site that I'm setting up. Also here, very important that you want to check any associated content with these courses that you want included in the export. So in this case, I want all associated content to be included with the courses that I've selected. So let's be sure to check every box. You also have the option to include users. You can include all users on your export site, users that are enrolled in LearnDash courses, as well as include all the authors of LearnDash related content. So in this case, I want to check these 2 boxes. This is for any LearnDash global settings that you want included in the export, which I will check all of these. Then once you've done that, we can click on continue. This will bring up the LearnDash review export settings page. What version you're using, the LMS to export, in this case, LearnDash, 5 courses. Are you exporting users? Yes, we are. This will show you the courses that you are exporting. So the 5 that we picked in the earlier page. Then it also will let you know what associated content is being included with these courses, as well as the settings. If any of these don't match up or you want to change them, all you have to do is click the back button. But in this case, this all looks good. So we're just going to click Run Export. And this will probably take the amount of time as to what content you have on your site. So the more content you have, The bigger export file will need to be created, which will take a little bit more time. In this case, this export process didn't take very long because these courses don't have as much content as other courses probably do. So now that's done. We can click on View Results. This brings you back to the export settings page, but now it is a confirmation page where you can click here to download the export file. It'll show you what users were exported from your export site. So in this case, we have 19 users on our export site that are enrolled in these courses right here. So that's how they are included in the export process. So I want to download our export file here. Now let's take a few seconds to download to our computer. All right, now that's exported, we can now go to our import site. This is our LearnDash import site. And just like I did with our export site, let me just make sure again that our server parameters are at the minimum of what our team recommends. Scroll back down here. All right, so these are the same settings as our export site. So this should be good to go. So once again, we're just going to click on transfer. This will bring us to the overview menu on our import site. And now we're going to click on import. In this case, we want to upload the JSON file that we just exported. So we're going to click on select file. In this case, I did rename my export file. This is just so that way I can find it easier. If you have multiple exports, you don't want to get confused as to which one is which. This just is a little tip I'm giving just so that way you can keep track of your exports. If you do a lot of them, this is just an easy way just to make sure you don't get lost in which export file you are uploading and importing to your new site. This checkbox right here allows you to make a backup process or make a backup during the import process. Just that way, no data is lost, and this is just like an extra safety net during the import process. So we have that checked. That is selected. So we're gonna upload the export file to our site. You can see the progress right here. And this is uploading the export file to the transfer agnostic table that allows us to import the content to this new site. So the content has been uploaded. Now we can start the backup process. Now that has completed. So similar to the export menu, this is the import menu, and it shows you the various options you have. So if for any reason that the export file that we just created, if we wanted to only take certain content from that export file, this allows you to import whatever you want from that created export file. But in this case, I want to import everything just to make it easier. Same thing with content settings. So before we elected to include all of our content settings in the export, if for any reason we want to change our mind, this gives us that option to exclude them from the import. Same thing with users. Then also we have the option to change any user roles upon importing. So any like admin, any other user roles that aren't subscriber that you want changed, if we select this, this will allow any of our extra user roles to be converted to subscriber. But in this case, we don't want to do that, so we're just going to leave that as do not change. Then we'll click on continue. Again, this brings up the review import settings screen, so we can just make sure everything looks correct before we click run import. All right, that looks good. So we're going to click Run Import. And again, this process will take the amount of time depending on how big your export file is. So if you're importing a lot of content, this process may take a while, but always be sure that you're watching these progress bars. If at any point you see progress stop and it's been, a good amount of time, there is an option to resume the import function. Um, but this again is all dependent on your host and your server settings. And if you have a lot of LearnDash content you're trying to import, you will want a lot of memory allocated on your import site. So that way you don't have any timeout issues or server issues during the migration process. But this looks like it has completed. So we'll view the results. This shows everything that was imported. So we can click back here, and this will take us back to the activity table. We can go to the overview menu, and this will also show any recent activities or downloads that we've done. The activity isn't shown yet just because the activity just completed, so it does take a little bit of time to show up here. But just be sure the content that we wanted imported correctly. So let's go to our LearnDash courses. Here are the 5 courses. All categories, tags, course categories, all that stuff was also included in the export and is now also imported to our new site. Let's click on the course builder just to ensure that the order of everything is also correct. So this is right. The headings are the same. There are 6 lessons here. Topics are in order as well, including any quizzes that are also included in the lesson. So that all looks good. You can leave that. And then I will click on our users to be sure that our users are imported correctly. As you can see here, the users are enrolled. And we'll just check on this user just to be sure that their course progress has also been moved over. All right, so just looking at this one, they were in the middle of completing this course. Their user data was migrated to this new site, and their course progress has also been preserved. So there's no worry about that either. But that is the gist of migrating specific LearnDash courses, content, and users from one LearnDash site to another LearnDash site. In future videos, we will be looking at the extra features that Transfer has, as well as other customized settings and any troubleshooting that you might come across during any migration process you do, whether it be amount of courses, content, and we'll also address any hosting issues and how you can fix those so that way you don't have any timeout issues or server issues during your migration process. But please like this video if you found the information useful and subscribe to be notified anytime we drop any new videos. Thank you.